very good evening to all of you and welcome to the news tonight. 30 minutes of the day's top stories from India and across the world. I'm Tracy Shilshi and let's head straight to the headlines. Sonia Gandhi leads a march of over 100 opposition MPs against the land bill, defying police orders, hands over the memorandum to President Pranab Mukherjee. Supreme Court quashes reservations for Jats as OBCs, rejecting the UPA government's notification, says the community can't be considered backward. Prime Minister Modi expresses concern on the nun gang rape case in West Bengal and the church vandalism incident in Haryana. Asked the state governments for detailed report. Issues resound in Parliament. Massive protests erupt in Karnataka demanding a CBI probe into the death of IAS officer DK Ravi Kumar. Protesters reject the suicide theory of the anti-sand mafia crusader. And polling for parliamentary elections is underway in Israel. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu seeks a fourth term in what's being seen as a tight race. Our top story today is the opposition's biggest show of protest so far against the government's land acquisition amendment bill. Over 100 MPs of 14 opposition parties marched from Parliament to Rashtrapati Bhavan, defying police orders. This is among a series of demonstrations against the bill over the last few days. Here's what happened today.
Members of Parliament of 14 parties on a protest march led by Congress President Sonia Gandhi. Quite a list it was. Former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, former Prime Minister and JDS Chief H.D. Deve Gowda, CPIM Sitaram Yechuri, CPI's D. Raja, Trinamool Congress leader Dinesh Trivedi and more. Barricades were set up and water cannons were also placed on the route leading from Parliament to the President's house. Delhi police had refused permission. MP said they would have to be arrested to be stopped.
This ordinance which was issued, that itself was an unacceptable step. Because knowing that the vast majority in Rajya Sabha, and also a sizable section in Lok Sabha, is against this, government issuing an ordinance on this itself was undemocratic. Now that the Parliament is in session, so we are going to the President of India.
भूमि अधिग्रहण विधेयक पर आर पार की लड़ाई है, हम इस पर कोई समझौता नहीं करेंगे. सरकार को विपक्षी दल के नेताओं और किसान संगठनों से बातचीत करके इसमें व्यापक संशोधन करने चाहिए.
That 200-meter walk from Parliament House to Rashtrapati Bhavan sent out a powerful message, the most powerful symbol yet of an opposition fiercely united against the government's land acquisition amendment bill. 26 MPs went inside to hand over a joint memorandum to President Pranab Mukherjee, identifying their points of disagreement with the government on the bill.
Congress party has adopted obstructionism, both as a strategy and now almost an ideology. The amendment to the land bill is entirely in favor of rural India. It seeks to create rural infrastructure. It seeks to provide housing for poor and affordable housing. It seeks to create better infrastructure for this country. And there is no reason why any political party with any commitment to development must oppose this bill.
The memorandum protests removal of several key clauses like farmer consent and social impact assessment in the new bill that existed in the UPA's legislation and what it calls favouring of corporates against the farmer. The government hit back, saying the protest march was little more than negative politics of the Congress to keep India backward. Once again, it rejected the anti-farmer tag attached to the new bill. There's been a marked spurt in anti-land bill protests by opposition parties over the last few days. Massive Congress protests on the streets of the capital on Monday, besides demonstrations by farmers in the states, a mounting political pitch against taking the bill forward. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Well, for more on this, we are being joined by Shyam Sundar, our correspondent from the capital. Shyam, the government calling this negative politics, but whatever it may be, this march especially bringing in still quite a bit of bad publicity, at least for that land bill that the government is trying to, get especially passed in the Rajya Sabha.
Definitely, Tracy, government is defensive from the very beginning on this bill, and we have seen in the Lok Sabha that government moved some official amendments and they dropped private entity clause from this bill under pressure from the opposition and pressure from inside NDA also. Their allies like Shiv Sena and Lok Jan Shakti Party, they were opposing this bill, and even parties like BJD and AIDMK, they were also insisting that this kind of clause should be dropped, and after that also we have seen that most of the opposition is united and land bill is working as a glue for the opposition. And during Lok Sabha debate, opposition parties said it openly that land acquisition is an issue given by the government to the opposition, which can unite the whole opposition. And especially from Congress point of view, it is very, very important, because this is the issue on which party can connect to the masses on the ground, and they can take credit. And especially Sonia Gandhi, she was known as the leader in the Congress party who was leading the party on the social agenda. When Dr. Manmohan Singh, Chidambaram and Montek Singh Ahluwalia, they were pro-reforms, they were seen as pro-corporate. At that time, Sonia Gandhi was advocating Manrega, RTI and land acquisition bill, and then food security. So it is very, very important for Congress party if we look at it from that point of view.
Shyam, just give us a sense really of where we see this, going ahead in the next few days. Do we see the government bowing to further pressure?
Well, as far as government is concerned, BJP's parliamentary board, which is the highest decision-making body in the party, they met twice and they discussed this bill, and after that amendments were made in this bill. But as far as government is concerned, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has made it very, very clear that he is very keen to pass this bill, and even Mr. Jayant Sinha, he said that the option for joint session is also open. But we have to see, because most of the opposition parties are very united, and there is a fear in the BJP that if they go ahead with this bill, there can be a branding of anti-farmer, anti-poor party for BJP.
Yes, and that is definitely, that is not a line any political party would like to take, no matter how much of a majority they have in government. But thanks so much, Shyam, for joining us with those details. We'll look ahead, of course, in the days to come of what is going to be happening. Rajya Sabha TV, of course, going to be keeping a track of all those developments. Meanwhile, in a judgment having far-reaching consequences, the Supreme Court on Tuesday ruled that caste cannot be the sole basis to decide backwardness of a community. It said this while rejecting the centre's decision to grant OBC reservation to the Jat community. In a significant decision, the Supreme Court on Tuesday quashed the centre's notification to include Jats in the central list of other backward classes category. The previous Congress-led United Progress Alliance government had announced the reservation just before the 2014 Lok Sabha elections.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जाट आरक्षण के नोटिफिकेशन को रद्द कर दिया है। ये न्याय के प्रति देश के 60 से 70% ओबीसीओं की आस्था है। इससे कोर्ट का कहना था कि जब से ओबीसी रिजर्वेशन लागू हुआ है, उससे आज तक इसमें खाली इंक्लूजन हो रहा है, ओनली इंक्लूजन हो रहा है, एक्सक्लूजन नहीं हो रहा है।
The court said the possible wrong inclusion of a caste in the other backward caste list in the past can't be the basis of further wrong inclusions. It also said that caste may be a prominent factor, but not the sole factor to decide backwardness. Unquote.
मैंने अभी तक सुप्रीम कोर्ट का पढ़ा नहीं है, देखा नहीं है, लेकिन अगर सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने इस तरह का कुछ कहा है, तो उसके आगे तो कोई भी कोर्ट नहीं है।
The court also found fault with the centre's decision to overlook the findings of an OBC panel that Jats were not a backward class.
देखिए, हम लोग कोर्ट के फैसले से बिल्कुल भी संतुष्ट नहीं है। हो सकता है कोई तथ्य कोर्ट के ने नजरअंदाज किया हो। 9 राज्यों में उनमें रिजर्वेशन था, जिनमें ऑलरेडी राज्यों में रिपोर्ट के आधार पे था, लेकिन हम लोग इसको बिल्कुल ऊपर भी जाएंगे, इससे आगे भी इसको दरखास्त लगाएंगे, सुप्रीम कोर्ट की बड़ी बेंच के लिए भी लगाएंगे और आंदोलन की तैयारी भी करेंगे, जैसे साहबानो केस में हुआ था। संसद इस फैसले को पलटे।
ये बिल्कुल मान्य नहीं है, ये हमारे साथ अन्याय हुआ है। हम जो है रिव्यू के लिए जाएंगे, अपील करेंगे।
A numerically strong farming community, for several years, Jats have demanded reservation under the OBC quota in Haryana, Delhi, Western UP, Punjab, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and some other states.
They even staged crippling protests in many parts of North India. The National Backward Classes Commission earlier refused to give reservation to them in the OBC category. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And reactions have come in thick and fast over the landmark judgment. Here are some of them.
कोर्ट का फैसला है और आरक्षण जहां तक बात है जाट डिजर्व करते हैं उनको मिलना चाहिए सामाजिक पृष्ठभूमि के आधार पे भी जब यादव और गुर्जर को मिल सकता है और जाट उनमें कोई फर्क नहीं है।
असंतोष बिल्कुल है और होना भी चाहिए क्योंकि पहली बार क्यों इसी समुदाय का कैंसिल हुआ, कभी किसी का कैंसिल नहीं हुआ। ये राजनीतिक निर्णय थे, ये रिपोर्ट्स के आधार पर आए हुए निर्णय थे। अब ये देखना पड़ेगा सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने किस बिहाफ पे कैंसिल किया है, उसके बाद फुल बेंच में जाएंगे और उसके लिए लड़ाई लड़ी जाएगी हर स्तर पे, चाहे वो कोर्ट का स्तर हो चाहे सरकार का स्तर हो। आरक्षण दोबारा में दिलवा कर रहेंगे।
हमारी पार्टी शुरू से ये कहती रही है कि जाट समाज के लोगों को ओबीसी में शामिल करके इनको आरक्षण की सुविधा देनी चाहिए, तो इसलिए हमारी पार्टी जाट समाज के लिए ओबीसी में इनको शामिल करके आरक्षण मिलना चाहिए, इसके हमारी पार्टी समर्थन में है।
व्यक्तिगत तौर पर मैं ये समझता हूँ कि पॉलिटिकल इंटरेस्ट में लोग जल्दीबाजी में इस तरह का जो निर्णय ले लेते हैं, अल्टीमेटली जो कमजोर तबके के लोग हैं, जो 27% आरक्षण में हैं, उनको ये नुकसान होता है, उन पर ये मार पड़ती है।
The Prime Minister has expressed deep concern over the nun gang rape case in West Bengal and vandalism of a church in Haryana and asked for detailed reports from the state governments. In fact, the gang rape issue resounded in both houses of parliament, considering no headway in the case since it was reported 3 days back.
Two incidents supposedly targeting the Christian community over 48 hours on Saturday and Sunday. First, the brutal rape of a 72-year-old nun in Nadia district of West Bengal. And on Sunday evening, an under-construction church vandalized in Haryana. The Prime Minister has come forward to condemn both crimes. Modi had assured minorities of a strong crackdown against culprits of attacks on their institutions. The PMO tweeted the Prime Minister's concern on the Haryana and West Bengal incidents, saying both state governments have been asked for reports on facts and action taken on the crimes. After 2 days of protests, business owners observed a shutdown in Nadia on Tuesday. No arrests have been made despite CCTV footage available of the attack. 10 people have been detained. Doctors say the nun's condition is improving. Members of the State Minorities Commission visited the gang rape survivor in hospital.
Whatever happened with sister is very unfortunate. She said that she had forgiven the miscreants who did this. But at the same time, justice should be brought, and all of you already know, the press, all of you already know that the Chief Minister, Honorable Mamata Banerjee, when she came to know about this incident, she had immediately ordered a CID probe.
There has been a breakthrough in the Hisar church attack case. Police say the main accused has been arrested and one man detained.
All are associating.
The attacks also resounded in both houses of parliament. Congress and AIADMK took up the issue in the Lok Sabha as the government rejected charges of playing communal politics. Members also criticized Subramanian Swamy's comments on mosques, even alleging they have built up to such attacks. The government trained its guns on the TMC government in West Bengal over deteriorating law and order.
The state government of West Bengal had completely failed in not being able to arrest the culprits and is looking for excuses even 4 days after the incident has happened, and is looking for some conspiracies and not able to simply do its job.
West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has herself faced strong protests on the issue. Her carcade was blocked for over an hour after she visited the nun in hospital on Monday. The pressure grows. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has said that the country would grow at the rate of 8% by next year. He said this in his reply to the debate on the union budget. Jaitley refuted charges of benefiting corporates, saying that his priority was to provide social security, generate employment and develop the country's infrastructure. The Finance Minister also said that the government will bring in a bill designed to discourage the generation of black money in this session itself. Participating in the debate, members from other political parties said that the government must focus on helping poor farmers and backward classes.
You need to increase manufacturing. Investment will lead to jobs. Investment must also lead to profitability. It's only then that you will get taxes. It's that money which will create jobs. It is that money which will help us to create infrastructure. It is that money which will help us to plow into the social sector.
But in the real India is living in villages. Yes. Therefore, I request the government to kindly enhance the allocation for rural development, agriculture, education and social sector.
It talks about federalism and acts to centralize. It speaks of humility and behaves arrogantly. Our commitment to farmers runs deep, the finance minister claimed in his budget speech. It runs so deep that the government has railroaded the land acquisition bill through the Lok Sabha.
A state like Orissa, which is paying so much money to the railways, to the central government, and the rest of the eastern part of India, which has suffered because of the freight rationalization thing with which we were burdened for too long, we deserve to be getting a better deal.
Lok Sabha also debated the Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Bill 2015 today after being initiated by Congress President Sonia Gandhi. She accused the government of ignoring the interests of the state, but the government assured the House that all promises made by the previous UPA government would be fulfilled.
When Congress President Sonia Gandhi rose to begin the debate on the Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Bill 2015, a silent house greeted her. Not only the opposition benches, but even the treasury benches listened to her speech without interrupting even once. Sonia Gandhi said that in the bill, the UPA government had provided for Andhra Pradesh's financial needs to be fulfilled, besides giving a special rail project to the state. The Congress president said the current government was not giving the state what was rightfully theirs.
The state of Andhra Pradesh is presently facing a huge revenue deficit, which is adversely impacting it and its people. To make matter worse, the recommendation of the 14th Finance Commission have not done full justice to the needs of the state.
Sonia Gandhi also said that she had written twice to the Prime Minister highlighting the concerns of the state. She also claimed that even the Financial Commission was not giving the state its due.
The Polavaram project is crucial for the future of Andhra Pradesh. It must be implemented with urgency and with complete regard to environmental sustainability and with full sensitivity to the resettlement and rehabilitation of all the affected families.
Replying to the debate, Parliamentary Affairs Minister M. Venkaiah Naidu promised that the government would not be biased against Andhra Pradesh. He said the government had even brought an ordinance, something it was highly criticized for.
With regard to Polavaram project, ma'am, you have reminded, I'm happy. I'm also happy. Prime Minister also is there in the House. Government is arrived at the situation. On Polavaram also, I don't want to divulge the personal discussion we had. The Prime Minister sent a minister to me. We discussed, I expressed my difficulties with regard to that problem, with regard to implementation of that problem, and it was, at the end of it, it was agreed upon that there will be provisions in the bill.
The government also assured the House that all the provisions made by the previous government will be fulfilled. The debate on the AP Reorganization Bill was one of those rare occasions when the debate was more than just political one-upmanship. Shyam Sundar's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
The Chief Minister of Delhi and the national convener of the Aam Aadmi Party, Arvind Kejriwal, went into damage control mode soon after returning to Delhi yesterday. On his insistence, senior party leaders met Yogendra Yadav late last night. Here are the details.
A day after Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan extended an olive branch to Arvind Kejriwal and sought a meeting with him, the Aam Aadmi Party chief has responded saying he will meet them soon. When that will happen remains to be seen, but in another sign of reconciliation, senior leaders from the Kejriwal camp met Yadav late last night. AAP leaders Sanjay Singh, Ashutosh, Kumar Vishwas and Ashish Khaitan met Yogendra Yadav at his residence.
पूरी कवायद का एक तरीके से स्वागत होना चाहिए और जो
अपेक्षाएं लोगों की हैं उसकी हम लोगों में आपस का गतिरोध खत्म हो, बातचीत शुरू हो। तो
बातचीत की शुरुआत हुई है, अच्छी शुरुआत हुई है, बातचीत और आगे चलेगी और जब कुछ रिपोर्ट करने लायक होगा आपको जरूर बताएं।
The party has been fighting internal turmoil over the past few weeks, with leaders from both camps making accusations and counter-accusations. In another development, the top leadership of the party, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia and Yogendra Yadav appeared before a Delhi court today in connection with a criminal defamation complaint. The appearance came after Metropolitan Magistrate Mayuri Singh took a strong view and said the trio have no respect for the law. Anu Diwan's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Time for a quick break here. We'll be back with more news in just a bit.
In the Maths Factor, we travel through time and space and see how maths has evolved and how it is a part of the world around us. Join us on Rajya Sabha Television. Watch the Maths Factor every Sunday at 8 a.m.
Welcome back. You're watching the news tonight. Now, protests erupted in Karnataka's capital, Bengaluru, and Kolar district today over the death of IAS officer D.K. Ravikumar, who was famous for standing up against the sand mafia. Ravi was found dead in his apartment in Bengaluru on Monday. Demands for a CBI probe are gaining ground even as police insist that it was a suicide.
An outpouring of grief, a show of anger. Massive protests hit Bengaluru and Kolar on Tuesday, with protesters demanding a CBI probe into the death of D.K. Ravi, a 2009 batch IAS officer. The demand for the CBI probe comes in the backdrop of protesters questioning the police's suicide theory, as no suicide note has been found. In Kolar, where Mr. Ravikumar was famous as a fearless district collector, there was a bandh, with transport off the roads and schools and colleges staying shut. In Bengaluru, parties like the Aam Aadmi Party and Jai Karnataka held protests.
इसके खिलाफ जो नेक्सस है इसमें राजनेताओं का, माफियाओं का जो नेक्सस है, उस नेक्सस को समयबद्ध, चरणबद्ध समय के अंदर उसको उजागर किया जाए और सजा दी जाए। इसके पहले महंतेश का हुआ, सत्यनारायण दुबे का हुआ, सारी चीजें ऐसी पड़ी है। ये सरकार सोई हुई है और इसे सचमुच में अगर जनता नहीं जागी तो ऐसे ही हत्याएं और भी होती रहेगी।
Forensically, medically, and from the examination of the situation at the location where the incident has taken place, all point towards a prima facie understanding of a suicide.
We don't know what happened, how prima facie it looks according to the preliminary report of the police. It is suicide. That is what preliminary inquiry shows. And the investigation is going on. We do not know the cause of the death, exact cause of the death. Let the inquiry investigation be conducted and let them come out with the report.
Ravi was posted as Joint Commissioner in the Commercial Tax Department in Kolar. On Monday, his wife came home to find his lifeless body hanging from a ceiling fan. The death of the IAS officer has built political pressure on the centre and the state governments.
एक लीड दिया है, उन्होंने कहा कि ये सुसाइड का केस हो सकता है, तो पुख्ता हमारे पास जानकारी नहीं है. It is difficult for the central government to intervene into the functioning of the state government because these are directly related to them.
This death, this unfortunate death in an unnatural way has created very many suspicions in the minds of the people of Karnataka. It is the duty of the government to clear those doubts, to clear those suspicions and to bring out the exact truth behind the unfortunate death of Mr. Ravi.
36-year-old Ravi was famous for taking on the land and sand mafia in Kolar district. He was also instrumental in clearing encroachments on government land. Although police said he did not show any unusual behavior before his death, reports say that despite his transfer, Ravi was getting threatening calls from the sand mafia. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
International news: and Israelis are lining up to cast their votes in the country's parliamentary election today. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who is seeking a fourth term, faces a tough fight from the centre-left opposition alliance, the Zionist Union. Palestine has emerged as a key issue, with Netanyahu vowing not to allow the creation of a Palestinian state if voted back to power.
Over 6 million Israelis are lining up to cast their votes in the election to choose the next Prime Minister of the country. More than 10,000 polling stations opened at 7 a.m. in the morning.
של הדמוקרטיה באה לידי ביטוי ביום כזה. אני קורא לכל אזרחי ישראל לא רק להשתתף בחגיגה, אלא לקחת את גורלם בידם, להכריע על עתידה של המדינה.
לקראת הבחירות אני מרגישה אולי שיהיה שינוי, אבל תמיד יש הפתעות, אז אין לדעת. אני רוצה שיהיה שינוי.
I hope that the strong national and liberal government will be formed, that will include both Likud and Bennett, which has most positive forces in our country, and together they can move to the better future.
Key players urged people to vote for a change, with economy and living standards emerging as key issues. But the two sides, one led by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who is seeking a fourth term, and the other by centre-left Zionist Union, made differing promises on Palestine. While Netanyahu promises not to allow the creation of a Palestinian state, Zionist Union promises to repair relations with Palestinians and also the international community.
למנוע את עליית מפלגת השמאל לשלטון, יש רק דבר אחד צריך לעשות, לסגור את הפער בין הליכוד לעבודה ולהצביע מחל.
הבחירות הללו הן בין שינוי ותקווה לבין ייאוש ואכזבה. מי שרוצה להמשיך בדרכו של ביבי לייאוש ואכזבה, יתכבד ויצביע עבורו. אבל מי שרוצה שינוי, תקווה ובאמת עתיד טוב יותר לישראל,
However, Palestinians rejected Netanyahu's comments on the Palestine state, saying that it is part of his propaganda to garner votes. Netanyahu's right-wing Likud party and the centre-left Zionist Union are running neck and neck. Whichever party performs better would need the support of new centrist party Kulanu in order to build a coalition. Significantly, no party has ever won an outright majority since Israel's first election in 1949. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now let's get you more updates from across the world in Global Buzz. The US has shared credible evidence with Pakistan on Lashkar-e-Toiba Operations Commander Zakir Ahmad Lakhvi's involvement in the 2008 Mumbai attack, days after America reminded Pakistan of its commitment to bring 2611 perpetrators to justice. The latest information is based on the interrogation of David Headley, who is currently serving a jail sentence for his involvement in the attack. Pakistan today executed 12 prisoners convicted under militancy and murder charges. This is the highest number of hangings in a single day after the government lifted the 6-year-long moratorium on capital punishment. 39 convicts have been hanged since Pakistan resumed executions on the 17th of December after a Taliban attack on an army school in Peshawar. US Secretary of State John Kerry and Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif have resumed nuclear talks in the Swiss city of Lausanne today. The meeting comes a day after a US official warned that Iran must make tough choices to allay fears about its atomic ambitions. Kerry and Zarif met for nearly 5 hours of talks on Monday before the Iranian delegation headed to Brussels for meetings with European ministers. The condition of Singapore's first Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew has worsened and doctors are closely monitoring his condition. Lee's condition had worsened due to a severe infection and he is on antibiotics. The founding father of modern Singapore, who turned 91 last September, has been in hospital since the 5th of February. Japan dispatched a disaster relief team of 13 people to the island nation of Vanuatu for rehabilitation work in the aftermath of Cyclone Pam. Disaster management officials and relief workers are still battling to get rescue teams to as many of the islands that bore the brunt of the cyclone. Japan is to donate 20 million yen in aid supplies of sleeping bags, plastic sheets and tents. And now some cricket action. South Africa has another chance to shed its reputation as chokers when they take on Sri Lanka in the first ICC Cricket World Cup quarter-final on Wednesday. The Proteas boast the #1 ranked batsman in world cricket in skipper AB de Villiers, while elegant Sri Lanka left-hander Kumar Sangakkara's 4 successive centuries make him the in-form batsman of the tournament. Neither side has had the bowling performances they had hoped for so far, but both are expecting key interventions from their top basemen in the knockout stages, Dale Steyn for South Africa and Lasith Malinga for Sri Lanka. Both showed good form in the pool stage but lost 2 of their 6 games. Their record against each other in one-day internationals is balanced, with Sri Lanka just ahead on 29 wins. Well, that's it for the moment on News Tonight, but the news continues on Rajya Sabha TV. Do stay with us.